The good doctor, Dr. Alex Apostle. Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
Jeff and Vicky.
Good time yesterday at Evergreen Elementary with the science fair judging. That was a heck of a lot of
That
fun.
was a lot of fun. The kids were very cute, and it was hard for me to. I gave them all great marks, and they were very excited. And it was nice to see you there, Jeff, and others that participated in that event. Of course, tomorrow we have the Mason County Science Fair, which I plan on attending. But I'd like to just mention something about our board meeting on Tuesday.
Okay.
We spent, it was a great board meeting. We spent time honoring our nationally recognized board certificated teachers, and we've got many of them in our school district, and it was really neat to see them all there, or at least most of them were there, and we honored them. We spent time talking about protecting our staff and our students, and I'm very grateful to law enforcement for joining me on Tuesday night to present maybe next steps in terms of providing a safe and secure environment for our students and staff.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, Ricardo de Bosque and I presented a proposal to the board about initiating a family resource center downtown where we can support families and students right along with protecting them during the school day, but providing services for them. And all this is in our quest to be the very best. Sure. Everything that we do every single day, we're moving forward in terms of being the very best school district in the state of Washington.
That's amazing.
That's our goal.
I saw a picture of Lieutenant Fiola in the Shelton Journal from yesterday's paper, and that references the Tuesday meeting. So for those who may not have read the article yet, what were some of the ideas that are starting to percolate about on ways to add some school resource officers and things like that?
Well, it's a very good question. Thank you. We don't want to be caught flat-footed in case something happens in our school district. We want to be preemptive, and I've been working with law enforcement, and what we've come up with to this point for the board, for the school board to consider, is having 2 more armed Shelton police officers circulating amongst our schools, and that really gives us a leg up, you might say, on really taking this very, very seriously. It's expensive, but in comparison to protecting 4,200 students and 600 to 700 staff members and all the parents that go in and out of our schools, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned this at the board meeting, and I'd like to mention it now. In order to meet the needs of the 21st century that we're 18 years into, we need to really reflect on how we've been expending the school district budget. We may not be able to do the things that we've done in the past. And if things aren't working, we're going to take that money and move it over. But to protect our students and our staff, and to do other things to enhance our school system. So that's a big project, and it's going to take everybody's concerted effort to move our district in a way that we're going to meet the needs of the 21st century, which safety and security is definitely a huge need.
And that's so important.
Yeah.
So that's so amazing.
And so that's a huge emphasis in our school district right now, making sure that we provide a safe and secure environment, and to be preemptive as much as possible.
I noticed in the article that it's Lieutenant Fiola mentioned that these would be, like you said, 2 Shelton police officers, not just security guards.
That's correct.
So they've got the full backing and knowledge of the police department.
Yes.
You guys had another conversation. The architect was in town. Is that right?
Yes. And last night we had a community open forum, and we had quite a few people there, really. Maybe 15 to 20, maybe, right around there. But Jeff Feeney, our consultant and kind of lead person, did an outstanding job overviewing each particular school and the bond issue. It was great, and they have a 3D program too that they're developing, and I would like to have that shown at a board meeting and maybe another community forum, so the entire community has the option of taking a look at this 3D program that exemplifies all of our schools and what's going to happen in relation to the bond. I'm going to try to put this, what Jeff presented last night, online.
Okay.
So people can access that information, but it was very thorough and well done. And it's exciting, let me tell you.
21st century schools look much different than the schools people have been used to growing up in the 50s and 60s. And when it comes to that, too, there are different ways that we're teaching kids nowadays. Is there going to be a lot of emphasis on explaining why the schools don't look like people's vision of a classroom where the rows are the desks and people sit alphabetical and there's the chalkboard and the overhead projector?
Right.
That's not what schools look like anymore. It's not really what classrooms.
Well, we're moving away from that, and giving students and teachers the opportunity to be creative and innovative as it relates to teaching and learning. Collaborating with, having teachers collaborate with their colleagues, having students work on various community projects, basically making education more relevant and rigorous at the same time. And some of our schools that are being remodeled and constructed through the bond are going to offer space for people, for staff and for students to do that kind of work.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, like community space and
Yes.
open meeting spaces.
Absolutely, and we have that in terms of our bond project. That's happening at the high school, it's happening at Mountain View, and as much as possible at our other schools.